In under 10 minutes, I'm going to show you how to find a username and password from a misconfigured AWS ECR using an exposed Docker image. But before we get started, I just want to tell you that this video is for educational purposes only, so do not try this on systems you don't have permission to test. Let me share my screen. Let's get started. So this is level 2 of Flaws.cloud challenge. I've done level 1 in the last video. You can watch that. I've created a playlist which includes all the levels. Level 3 is not out yet, but by the time you watch this video, it might be out. So this level is running as a container. There's a link, so if we click on it, it wants a username and password. This side is asking you to log in or sign in with a username and password. And when I click cancel, it gives me unauthorized access. Just like S3 buckets, other resources on AWS can have open permissions. I'll give you a hint that the ECR, Elastic Container Registry, is named level 2. So you might ask yourself, what is Elastic Container Registry? It's basically an AWS resource that you can hold your Docker images in. In the background, actually, is using S3 service. So let's have a look. What I'm curious about, the first part, is that does the role from the last level has access to this container or not? So let's get started. So I'm going to AWS CS get caller identity dash profile, and I'm going to do Flaws2.L1. Let's have a look. Yes, so it's still valid, so we can use this. Now the next command I'm going to use is that it's going to show us if we have access to that container or not. And they have given us the repository name or the container name, which is level 2. So let's have a look. I'm going to do AWS ECR list images, right? And then the repository name for this one. Repository name for this one, we're going to give it the name that they have given us, level 2. And after that, we need the registry ID. So I'm going to dash that registry ID. And this is going to be basically the account's name, the AWS account ID right here. So that's good. And we're going to use the same profile, obviously, dash profile Flaws2.L1. So let's have a look if it gives us the image. Oh, it says you must specify a region. You can also configure a region. So in the last level, we did not specify a region because we didn't need it, but it seems like for this one, we do need it. So I'm going to specify region. I'm going to do AWS configure set region US East 1 dash profile Flaws2.L1 for the same profile that we had created last time, right? So let's do that. Let's see if it works. Yes, it did it for us. We'll do a clear. Now that we have solved that error, let's run the command again to see if we have access to the image or not. And yes, we do have access to the image. Is right here. So now what we want to do is that we want to go figure out what is exactly inside this image. There's two parts when it comes to the Docker image. One is the config, and the other part is the layers. The config is just the metadata, the overall settings, but the layers is where the juicy part is, because it shows all the incremental changes from the beginning of this Docker creation till now. So if in those incremental changes they have set a password, we can see it. But we need to use another command for that. So let's use that command. Yeah, I'm going to run AWS ECR batch get image. And I'm going to add the same things as before. Repository name, which is level 2, and then registry ID registry ID, which is the same as what we had over here, and that's basically AWS account number. And the other thing I need is the image ID. I'm going to type that down, image ID, which is image tag equals latest. And then all of that with the profile that we have created. Profile, Flaws2 L1, exact profile at the same NAS level. So yeah, here it does give us the results, but the only problem with it is that it doesn't look good. So we can see the config, we can see the layers, but it doesn't look good. For us to make it look better, I'm going to use JQ. If you don't have JQ, I'm going to leave a link in the description to get it. It's good for times like this to make things look better when you get something messy like this. So I'm going to exit from this, and I'm going to do a clear exit from this, and I want to run the same command again, but I want to add the JQ to it to make it look better. With this JQ, our goal is to get the image manifest from the image array. So to achieve that, I'm going to write images because it's an array, and I am going to get image manifest from it, and with a capital M, actually that's better. And all of this I wanted in a form of from JSON, basically. Let's see if that works. All right, nice, it worked. So in here, we can see that now we can see it properly. The config part is up here and the layers part is up here. The next step to this is that I want to get these layers as their original file, and I want to download it and I want to inspect it, which is going to be another command. For that one, I'm going to do it on Visual Studio Code after downloading it to have a look to see if in the past they have entered a username password in there as plain text or not. If they have, then they'll be in trouble because we will know about it. So I'm going to clear to go on top of the screen again. Actually, before I do a clear, let me get this because we're going to need it. This digest image. I want to get that, but not hashed up, so we can see it, the original file in plain text, and we can download it. So I'm going to do clear now. And now for this one, I need to run a command, AWS ECR get download URL for layer. That would give us that. And repository name is same as last time. Repository name would be level 2 because he has mentioned it before. And the layer digest is the thing that I just copied. Layer digest would be equals. Actually, we don't need equals here. So it would be this right here. And I'm going to do that with the obviously profile that we have access to everything. So flaws, which is flaws 2 L1. Let's see what we can get. We got an error. I wonder why that is. Repository name, level 2 layer digest.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Is it because I didn't put a space? Yes, there it is. We can see the download link. So I want to get this download link. I'm going to open it up. It's going to open up my Chrome right here. And I have it in my downloads, I guess. Let me try to open it. Okay, it opened it for us. And this is it. And it's not going to make it look good yet. Because we have to save it as a JSON for it to look good. So I'm going to do .json, save, and I can do Ctrl+Shift+I. There we go. Now we have the original file in plain text, and we can go through it to see if anyone has set up a username or a password in here. So I scroll down a bit and look at things, basically just observing it. And over here we can see that these are the file changes that were made, and I can see the date and time right next to it. So for this to become easier, actually, I was going to search for a password, but I found it right here. So HD password, that's what's set up over here. So one of the commands that were run, it's here 2018. That's where it was made years ago, actually. So I can see there's a username set and a password. So we're going to give it a try to see if this is actually the username and password. So I'm going to copy this and go on my browser, give this a try, paste that in as a username, and paste this as a password. Log in. No, don't save it. Yes, that's it. We're on level 3. That's the link for level 3. So we got it. So the lesson that we learned, there are lots of other resources on AWS that can be public, but they are harder to brute force for because you have to include not only the name of the resource, but also the account ID and the region. They also can't be searched with DNS records. However, it is still best to avoid having public resources. You also learned a bit about Locker. Yes, I did learn about the config and the layers part. I researched that part before this video. And also, I think one of the important things to mention again is the least privilege access. That role right there has too much access. I was not supposed to be able to do all of this. And the other best practice for developing or making something like this is that adding these secrets in at runtime using the environmental variables or AWS Secret Manager, just putting it there, plain text, is not a good idea. And if you have done it in the past, it's going to stay there forever. That was from 2018. So because your incremental changes doesn't go away on Docker. So thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you on level 3. Thank you.